Hey there, my name's Bren Vanderswag, and I'm the president of GutterExperts.com and the founder of GutterCon, which was held for the very first time in Denver, Colorado, just this past April. Happy to announce that GutterCon 2023 will be held in Orlando, Florida, on February 10th through 12th. And I'm officially announcing today that we've signed a contract at the Gaylord Palms Resort and Convention Center, and we'll have more information in the upcoming weeks about booking your rooms before they're gone. So keep your eye open for that. I love to chat with people in the gutter industry, suppliers, inventors, manufacturers, and gutter guys and gals, just like you and me. I enjoy finding out about how they got into the business, where they came from, and what their businesses are doing in the gutter industry today. Please welcome my guest today, DrewWittig of Super Seamless Gutters operating Gainsville, Georgia. Drew has only been in the gutter business since 2020, but he took over an existing business which started in 1981, over 40 years ago. How you doing today, Drew?
Hey, good morning, Bren. Good to see you.
Yes, you too. We saw each other not too long ago. We were down at the huge convention.
Yes, that was a good show. I enjoyed it.
I wasn't really thinking about the good show. I was thinking about the good time we had down on Broadway that night.
that was a good time. Yes, Nashville is always fun.
Yeah, and I think there was a group of us, probably about 12 or so of us, I think.
The group got a little large for a minute there.
Yeah. So we took two Ubers down, two big, what do they call them? Black X Ubers or something. They were nice,
a couple of Uber Blacks.
Yeah, and got down there, and I have to say, like, yeah, I've been to Vegas before, but you know, this was my first time in Nashville, but we were just driving through a normal city, and then all of a sudden we came to Broadway, and it was like, wow, like this is crazy. And the streets were packed. What was it, a Wednesday night or Thursday night?
I think it was Thursday night. Yeah, Vegas is a good description. I mean, you're in nothing. There's like nothing going on, and all of a sudden, bam, all this kind of excitement.
And just bar. Every bar had its own little band or someone singing country music. All sorts of different music. It was just an awesome place to go. So
yeah,
I won't say who, but we ended our night. Were you with us at the end of the night?
I was one of the last holdouts.
I think there was four or five of us, but someone will say slipped on the dance floor, and the cops ended up pulling him out of the bar, and that was our 2:30. So we won't mention any names, but it was one of our sponsors, so I'm sure that'll come out someday.
Everybody, I know that he still had a good time.
Yeah. Sorry, Tommy. Whoops. I love it. Anyway, we had a blast, and I would say anyone that has an opportunity to, well, the huge convention was pretty good, but anyone that has a chance to go to Nashville, like, do it. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Drew, you came to GutterCon back in April. We got a chance to meet, and we chit-chatted a little bit, I think, there, shook hands a couple times. Yes. Didn't really know much about your business until, just very recently. So why don't you just tell us about how you started out? You're in your late 40s, and like I said in the intro, you just got into the business a couple of years ago. What were you doing before that?
So I've been in construction and remodeling all my life. That's where my training began when I was 19, I believe. Mm-hmm. I got to train under master carpenter, master electrician, and a master plumber, and continued to work for the largest printing company in the world. They do all their stuff in-house, so it was a pretty...
Who is the largest printing company in the world?
Quad Graphics.
Are they still around?
I believe they've sold off most of the printing stuff. They're mostly a marketing company now. It's all digital and things like that.
Right.
But so we maintained and built a lot of square footage, millions and millions of square footage are underneath my tool belt. So did a lot of work with them, learned a lot of business related things as well, not just how to swing hammers and things like that. It was a good training opportunity to learn how projects go together and all the behind the scenes.
So you work in the construction business for a printing company?
Yes, I was not in the printing end.
They had a
in the
lot of
construction
buildings that
department.
needed to be maintained or built or whatever.
Yes, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so they used to do everything in-house. They didn't sub out very much at all. And so got to work with a lot of good people in a lot of different trades and learn a lot of things.
Travel
Always
the
want,
world doing that, or just locally mainly?
just more, that was I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin originally, and that was up in the Wisconsin area.
Mhm.
And Georgia, just moved to Georgia because of the sunshine and the business opportunities. There's a lot more work here in
Yeah,
Gainesville, Georgia than in the north. That we don't
yeah.
shut down here. We can clean gutters, install gutters, fix gutters. I mean, all year round. It's good at
Makes a difference,
opportunity
doesn't
here.
it?
Yes. um, so I always wanted to be a carpenter, and got to pursue that trade. Always wanted to run my own business as well.
Mhm.
Left Quad Graphics, worked for Johnson Controls. They're like one of the largest heating and air conditioning companies in
Yep,
the world.
yep,
Learned a
I
lot
know.
with them. That was more on the business and the tech side. And then left them when I moved to Georgia and started my own companies,
Yeah.
and been doing that ever since.
When was
I
that?
uh, I subbed out my gutter work to a good friend of mine that I've known for like 22 years. And he called me one day and said, come on over and talk to me. I've got something for you. And he told me he was retiring. And I was like, oh my gosh, who's going to do my gutters? And he said, you're going to do your own gutters. And I was like, that sounds interesting. And we proceeded to talk about that deal and figure out how I was going to learn to do gutters. So it's been an
Oh.
interesting couple of years.
So how long were you in Georgia before you took over the rain gutter business?
Like 20 years in Georgia before I
Oh,
took
okay.
over gutters. Yeah.
Okay. So you met this guy after moving to Georgia, starting your business, and he started working for you.
Yeah, we had a mutual friend, and we chipped in and built him a shop for his car repair. And we met there, and we both had similar levels of skill. He was also a carpenter background. FYI, carpenter background is pretty good for gutters. I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
miters and angles and things. You just
Got to read a tape and a level, and
exactly just need a couple of different tools, and you're set to go. So
not too many hammers nowadays. But are you guys still using spike and furl down there in Georgia?
no spikes. We're still taking out a lot of spikes around here,
Okay,
though.
we are too. Do you know anyone that still uses spike and ferrule? I don't know if I
I do
do.
not, but when I acquired the business, I literally had to move out of his shop and move into my own shop. And so we just took everything he had. And I mean, he goes back a long ways. So
Mhm.
I've probably got about 30,000 spikes in a box in my shop currently.
Wow.
We really just use them to poke the end of the sealant bottle, and then we just
Yeah.
throw the nail away.
Wow. There must be guys still doing it because you can still get them.
You
I
can, and
can't.
I can't imagine why you would do it, except that that's the way you were taught. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting an official invite out there. If there's anyone out there listening right now that uses spike and furl, we'd love to talk to you. So give me a call.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Shoot me a
Love to hear
DM.
that reasoning.
Absolutely. So your buddy talked you into was he older than you? Like, was he ready for retirement and he just
Yeah,
wanted to do something different?
he's in his 60s, and he
He
was
was ready.
still in the field and climbing ladders and hustling and bustling, and he's just
Yeah.
he's a good guy, works hard. He's just tired and had enough.
Mhm.
Didn't get out of it because the money was bad or anything. He's amassed quite a collection of toys and things like that. He did very well for himself in the gutter industry.
Good for him.
So
Good for him.
nothing
Well,
bad to say there. He loves it.
no, I mean, these guys running the roads doing one truck operations, it's hard work, but that's probably where you'll make the most money doing it
Yeah,
yourself, huh?
he was doing okay. He had a lot of good relationships. He was known as the gutter guy all around the area, which was the intriguing part of the deal there. I was like,
Did he
I'd
have
like
a
to take
couple
over
trucks
that.
or just one?
What, say that again?
Did he have a couple trucks or a crews or just himself and a helper?
He was just running on the one at the time. We're running multiple, or we're running two trucks now.
Yeah.
But he was just running it on the one, and he was real anxious to talk to me because he was running it on the downhill path, just like turning down jobs because it was too much for him. And he's like, we need to talk. You either want this or I'm just going to continue turning down jobs until I'm full retired. And I said, no, let's not do that. Let's keep this rolling.
Yeah. So did he stay on for a little bit?
Yeah. So he trained all my guys. I put everybody on with him.
You had a crew
And
already in your construction business.
yeah, all my guys that were in the other side of the business, and put everybody with him, and he trained everybody. And he's very we called him the Rabbit Squirrel. It was very hard to keep up with him. He was working at his normal business pace, and I'm like, we got to slow it down here. I need everybody to be able to see this. I wasn't there the first week of training, and the guys, came back and trying to explain to me. I'm excited. I'm jacked up. I'm like, tell me about this. Tell me about this. I mean, I really wanted to be there, but I'm out selling stuff, and they're like, well, it was great, but we didn't learn anything. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, so they proceeded to take some videos of him training, and he works so fast. I mean, like the way he can run a snip and cut a miter on a gutter was just phenomenal, and I was just in awe of that. But we had to have a little talk.
Hand cut miters or strip miters? Or
hand cut, yeah.
Cut. So did you guys carry on the tradition?
Yes, there's a great pride. The guys who went through that obviously didn't come out of that right away doing a beautiful, perfect miter. I had to run a whole lot of just random gutter out of the back of the machine just for everybody to make scrap piles out of. And we cut a lot of practice, and because we came out of some of the gutter guys, you participate in the gutter groups. I'm sure I'm going to catch a little bit, for being only the newbie in it, but we came out of the gate running hard. I mean, there was no time we weren't doing one job a week. We weren't, learning very slowly. I mean, we were bam, 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 right into where he had it. And I mean,
you were full into it right away. It wasn't like growing the business.
I mean, there's a lot that I can take. I've been through a lot in my life. It was a very, very, very rough year. I think I worked 90 hours minimum. I couldn't keep up because, I mean, I'm helping out. I'm doing the install. I'm learning to do the installs. I'm still trying to do the sales. We still had the other company going and had plenty of work booked, and it was brutal. And but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you're still running the other business too?
What's that?
Are you still running the other business too?
Yes, not as much, a little bit. The plan was to run both of them simultaneously, and I think they go well together.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much promise in doing gutters, though, and I say that with great seriousness, and I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. There's so much more that I can streamline in the gutters, that the potential is there. I mean, it's unreal. By the end of next year, we will probably be double what we are today.
So it sounds like you're really kind of excited about scaling the business.
I'm very excited, and that's that's the thing that really gets me going about it. First of all, I have fun with this sheet metal. I didn't expect that I would, and I really have fun putting this stuff up there, selling it. We're putting together a good program, and in partnership with Leaf for Leaf and Alurex, and we're doing a kind of a good, better, best deal.
Nice. Were you guys using Leaf for Leaf before?
I was not. I went to this real nice convention in Denver and met them and made a great partnership. And thanks,
Nice.
GutterCon. I really appreciate that.
Good, good.
I,
Well, we
I
know
came
there's
to GutterCon hoping to, on the expo floor, hoping to see pretty much all the gutter covers
yeah,
imaginable.
yeah.
Because everybody's got, I mean, there's just so many different kinds, and I'm like, I'm gonna beat these sales guys up. I'm gonna pull all the information from everybody. I'm gonna check these out, get samples, and within a year I'm gonna lock this down. And I mean, I like consistency, which is one of the things where I'm leaning towards with the gutters. You can streamline and make organization and consistency out of it. Streamline your sales process. I'm all about that. My father was a salesman. I've spent my life learning and living sales. I enjoy learning about sales and marketing. And I think that's where the important part is. I'm also a guy who likes to, swing the tools and be on the ladders. The guys joke around with me now. We have this rule where I'm not supposed to touch a hammer. Hammer is just a joke for all tools. I'm supposed to be out there building the business and things. I get too excited. I like and enjoy installing and being on the site. I like seeing the customers and everything and
Well,
working
you
with
can
the
always
guys.
hire an estimator, right?
Yes, that will be I will
Probably
have
something you're
somebody
going to
for
have to do
next
pretty
year.
soon. Yeah. Yeah.
Things
Well,
are going good.
I'm really glad. What's unique about GutterCon and you is because you were so new to the business. So so many of us that have been in the business so long would know a lot of the, gutter guard companies, and everyone has their own one that they use. But I think one of the neat things about GutterCon is that we'd have a supplier, a gutter guard supplier here, and right next door have another one. And everyone there's good points about, no one has the perfect gutter guard. I think any gutter guard company
No,
would tell you
yeah,
that. You just cannot have the perfect one. But depending on where you are in the country, and what sort of weather you have and tree foliage you have and all that stuff, it all plays a part. So
absolutely,
I
yes.
hope we're chatting with other gutter guard companies that are going to be there for 2023. So we're excited about that. We'd like to see a good representation of them all, because that's what it's all about. So
Yeah, and I think I've been to expos and cons for other things. I was really excited to see the GutterCon and be a part of the inaugural gutter convention. It was a good time, good people. I think those people it's a group of like-minded people who are pushing the envelope, I think, to make themselves and the industry better. And I mean, that's something I like to touch on. We have this huge thing with my company about mentorship, and that's not just the people who work for me and with me, but I mean, we do trainings. We don't yell at each other. We have these little competitions, whether it's a tool or a material or whatever, just because this is the way we trained on it. If you come in with something new, we'll stop the job site, get everybody out. And I mean, like, go ahead, show us what you're thinking here. And then we kick that around and we talk about it. That's what we do internally. And I think that builds us up well. There's nobody afraid of, boss man coming around yelling and screaming. When we first started out, the first week on our own with the gutters after training under the old owner, I sent the guys out, sent 3 of them out on the truck, which was more than we needed, but I just wanted everybody, I just wanted those 3 guys to be there helping each other. And I didn't go on purpose. And part of the purpose was just to see if everybody could calm the heck down and take this new thing that was thrown upon them and run with it. Well, I was toying around with different vendors and suppliers. And I went to a supplier that I no longer really care to deal with, but went to them, and I was not yet aware in the gutter industry that there's slightly different gutter coil sizes. So I bought a bunch of materials for this job, and the machine was set up for a different supplier width of gutters. And I'm not there, and the guys, they ran about 100 feet out of the machine, just crinkling it. I mean, like it was bad. It was bad. And anybody in the gutter industry knows what I'm talking about with the coil being too large. They've probably seen where the in-feed roller needs to be adjusted. None of us knew about that yet, because we had been using one supplier and the machine was set up for that. So they ran about 100 feet before they decided to freak out, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. And they called me and said that, and I get there. I'm like, I'll be there in 30 minutes. We'll figure this out. Everybody just keep looking and trying to figure out what's wrong. And we went through some things over the phone, and I got there, and there's just this pile of trash gutters on the front lawn. And I was like, wow, that's all the coil. Wow. We slowed down, we figured it out. Everybody kind of looked together, and we decided to try adjusting that in feed, and lo and behold, that was the answer, and we learned something. But everybody felt good about sharing and learning, and it was a hard lesson, and it was an expensive lesson.
You felt bad about all the waste, but at least you can recycle it and get paid for your waste. It's not like you have to pay to get rid of your waste.
The guys were wondering whether they needed to hide behind the bushes or run through the backyard if the boss man was going to lose his, that day. But I was like, no, it's okay. We knew this was going to be some learning experience, and we learned. It cost a lot, but we learned.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about what you're doing, Bran. Anybody who's watching this who has not been to a convention of any kind of business, or especially GutterCon, if you're in the gutter industry, you absolutely have to be at this event. The prices for admission and the hotel and all that, first of all, it's a great time. Those of us who went know that it's a great time, but it's more than that. It's the camaraderie of like-minded people getting together and talking. And I very much believe in sharing. I have other stories where, competition. You see a lot in the Facebook messaging groups about competitors, and there's this like anger and evil towards your competition. No. Those are my friends. And if you're new to the industry and I haven't seen you, I'm going to pull over and you will be my friend. We're going to talk. We're going to share ideas. If something happens, if you need a part, if you need some coil, I'm going to help you. You're going to help me. Like, here's a business tip idea. I'm not going to go over my entire brilliant sales spiel, but we're going to talk about what we're doing, because we all take aluminum, bend it into funky contorted shapes, and we somehow affix it to the side of people's houses. That's the consistent same thing.
And it serves a purpose too.
Right. I have some different methodologies of the way I sell and the product that I offer. It's a tiny bit different. That's my value proposition. I'm a little bit different, not just in the product, but mostly what my team and myself offer. We give something different. I hope that you, as my competition, bring your A game. I will help you in any way I can. I hope you help me with anything that you can. Bring your A game, because if we're all really, really, really good gutter guys, the whole industry is better, and my market territory is better.
Yeah. What's that saying? Tides rise all ships, is it?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll
didn't
talk
even
about
have
it
to
later if you want, but I'd love to give a speech at the next con if there's availability about the rising tides. I'd be all for that.
Well, you made that comment at just the right time, because we are in the planning stages of that. So
all right, let's talk about it. It's something I'm very passionate about. I love getting everybody involved.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at the GutterCon. I mean, that's not necessarily your competition. These are your comrades.
No, definitely not.
These are,
Although,
I
if you
mean,
can believe it, me coming from Canada, I had my biggest competitor come right along with me. I
and
was
I
I was
appreciate that.
really I was really trying to keep it quiet on the down low here locally about what I was doing, but he heard and he came. But that's okay. That's okay.
It
We had a,
rises the tide. Everybody's gonna do better. I mean,
well, and
it,
we work together too. Like, we've got a couple machines that he doesn't have. Like, he just needed some half round the other day, so
yeah,
I'm without a 6-inch gutter machine right now, so he drops them off for me. So we work together. So you can't do it all, and you don't want to do it all. You got to have some healthy competition out there. So
yeah. And
it's all
there's
good.
untold value in that. It's building the whole community better that way. That's what I
Yeah.
really believe in, and I like to push that. And I saw it a lot at the huge convention that we just recently went to. Those guys, I mean, maybe not all of them, but those guys, there's small, medium, and large size companies there.
Yeah.
The one guy has a customer and he does his smaller stuff, and all of a sudden he gets like a parking garage. He can't do a parking garage.
Yeah.
If you have comrades in your community that you work with and you share and you talk to,
Yeah.
you sell the job and you sub it, to your comrade, or just give it to him, period. I mean, there's opportunity in knowing everybody and helping everybody rise up. It's real good. So
Yeah.
it
Well,
was
we'll
good to
definitely
see
chat
that.
about that. But before we get off topic of the huge convention, um, you know, two things I want to mention. Just that we have 4 board members: Corey J, Tina Hart, Ben
Yes.
Conowitz, and Vitaly Voloshin. So 4 of these people, they're all in the gutter industry now, and we all met at GutterCon. We all kind of clicked, and I needed help. If we're going to make this bigger and better, it's hard for one man to do it.
Absolutely.
So these guys are involved. They were all at the huge convention. In fact, we had our first in-person board meeting there, and
All great people.
we did end up going out to Broadway one night, but the rest of the time we were totally like all board meeting, all GutterCon stuff.
Yes.
But one thing I learned, and one of the things, I have my ideas in my head, and of course, GutterCon 2022 was great, but where I'm learning from that, because I have these 4 other people that are saying, well, what about this? What about that? And there's one thing that all of them agreed on, was that we needed more gutter company owners speaking at the conference. So we had a bunch of great speakers at the conference in 2022, and we're going to have some more of those people that may not be in the gutter business. I mean, let's face it, a service business, whether it's gutters or gutter cleaning or painting or garage door business, we all have to do accounting. We all have to, do
Yes.
marketing. We all, you just do it a little bit differently. You're going to learn from anyone who's in the business. You're going to learn from them. So, but we are going to have more focus on gutter specific people. And there's, a couple of our board members are going to be speaking and even putting on some, technical stuff too. So I think there's going to be
Excellent.
a nice little change in GutterCon 2023 for
Good
the
deal. Yeah,
better.
that
So
sounds great. The first one was fantastic.
yeah. So the other thing I just want to mention about the huge convention before we move on, the day we met there, you were spending some money.
I was.
So
You caught me with my
really,
wallet out throwing $100 bills.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
burning some cash.
So what did you end up doing? Do you mind talking a little bit about that, or is that too early?
Yeah, I think you caught me picking up at the Skyvac booth, I think is where you caught, or no,
Yeah.
did you catch me at you caught me at the
You bought a
expensive
pressure
booth?
washer, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bought a
Yeah.
rig or
So
something.
AC Lockyer, he's
Yeah.
a well-known,
And
well,
in
see,
the
he's a good example. I don't know if any of the gutter people are going to know who he is, but he has been around for such a long time. he very much puts his information out there pretty much for free. I mean, when you buy equipment from him, you know, that's a whole nother level. But I mean, he puts a lot of info out there for a lot of years. He wrote one of the famous books of that industry
Yeah.
that a lot of people go to learn their
Been in the
first
business a long
skills.
time.
Yes.
I remember back in the 1990s knowing about him. I was in the
Yeah. I
pressure
mean,
washing business in the 90s.
he's been, I mean, he's just been such a leader of that industry. And I think some people look at that leader, like when I say leader, I don't mean it from that class system, like you're the grunt worker and he's the boss man. When I say leader of your industry, I mean that you wake up every day with a passion to just make your business world and your life around you better than it was when you started that day. And that's how AC runs his life. He's a fantastic guy. And I hope that I can offer even a small part of what I know of business and gutters someday to the next generations coming in. Next year, for example, as everybody may well know, there's just not much trade school. There's not much electricians, plumbers, and things like that. There isn't anybody. I mean, back in the day, there used to be, yeah, you should be a plumber like Uncle Joe, or, you know, you should be an electrician like, you know, Fred. Never is there anybody running around saying you should be a gutter guy. I mean, most people don't even know that that's a job title. I feel that should be raised up, and I hope to, one of my dreams, I think, would be to run a gutter school and technician training, and that may become a possibility for a start next year. There's a major company around here that's commercial buildings, and they do millions and millions of dollar projects. They can't get enough guys. They already work with all the high schools around here to send people through tech training to learn electrical, plumbing, bricklaying, all this. And they have these really cool like demo competition days where you build like a fake brick wall right here inside this warehouse. And it's like a challenge. It's a competition to show off and strut your skills. I think by the end of 2023, I believe Super Seamless will have a foot in the door there to at least demo and show these kids coming out of school that not only is this a sweet trade, you can make sweet money at it, but it's fun. I mean, I think this is fun. I think if you talk to most people at the convention, at the GutterCon, I think we're all having fun doing this. Are there tough days? Absolutely. But I myself am having a lot of fun doing this. And I love.
Yeah, there's always nights down on Broadway, right?
Right? No, it's going to be Orlando. It's going to be Orlando.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's cool. And, you know, I kind of have a little bit of a vision like that. We'll have to chat again too about that.
All right.
Because I think you might be able to play a part. We're looking at launching something called Gutter Academy. And, you know, there's a lot of things that a lot of us should be kind of talking about, especially people that are in their senior years. You know, they've got a lot of things to, you know, talk about, whether it's the gutter industry or not, but just being in business. You know, I don't run the perfect business. I never did, and I still don't. I'm learning, you know, in fact, one of the things that I enjoy so much about meeting people at GutterCon and even doing these interviews is stealing ideas from guys like you.
Absolutely. And that's part of that thing that I was talking about with my guys, where we have, you know, it's a competition. It's an unsaid, unspoken competition that just goes any and every day. If you can come up with something new, it's almost like a new invention. If you can come up with something new, it has potential to be our new standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
I wake up every day like that. I am not going to just stomp around the job site or the shop or anything like that. I am going to teach you my skills that I have. I hope that you, and I demand it. I mean, my guys know that. I demand that you come back at me with something. I want to learn something from everybody around me. When I hang out with you, there's potential for me to learn something new. You know, you just always have to expand. That you do see in some of the chats and some of the groups. I mean, there's some short-mindedness, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Open your mind. Be open to any foolish, crazy, ridiculous, just anything, any idea has the potential to be the next idea. I mean,
Yeah.
you just never know.
Well, I'm going to be doing an interview with Donovan Queensberry. Do you know him?
I do.
He's actually from your neck of the woods, I believe.
He is.
North Carolina. He's at, right?
Yeah, he's not too far from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Donovan and I got hooked up last year. He wasn't able to get to GutterCon. His wife was having a baby. I don't know why that would stop you from coming to GutterCon. Come on.
Okay.
But anyway, he decided to stay home.
Excuses. He'll just be a year behind.
It wasn't like it was the first kid or something. Like he's already got 2 or 3. Anyway, I just had a text from him this morning, and we're gonna be doing an interview here within the next week or 2. But I met him in person down at the huge convention, and he's really big into gutter cleaning, but he's also really getting big into Christmas lights. And
yes, I'm aware of that.
And we haven't officially made the decision, but I'm this close to just trying it this year. I mean, we're so busy, September, like right now, we're actually kind of we're eating up work quicker than it's coming in, because it's summertime, people aren't thinking about their gutters. So it happens every year. And then September, as soon as the kids go back to school and the weather just starts to change a little bit, that's when wham, it just hits, and it's just like go till Christmas time.
Yes.
And we've just decided that we're going to try it this year. And speaking with Donovan, we're going to put a high price on it. And we're hoping to get 5 to 10 homes this year. And people who do it are going to pay dearly for it. And we're going to try it, and we're going to make some money and see if we like it, and we'll see if we want to do it next year. I mean, maybe we'll
I think
only
that'd be a great fit for your company and your locale where you are, being northern, as far as filling your schedule.
You guys don't celebrate Christmas down where you are?
Nah.
No?
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't get, I don't know what you think, but we don't get snow up here in Nova Scotia, Canada, like in September. Like,
okay.
We don't get it till like December or January.
I actually, many years back, I did not get in with a franchise that taught me all how to do it, but we did 1 season of it.
Yeah.
There are people who spend and respect it like it's a major, they have to have the perfect lights. And there are people who just want to string their own, and they look all crooked and crazy. There are people who really want the service that Donovan is doing. And
and he's charging more money to put lights on gutters than we charge for the gutters, if you can believe it. And he charges it every year.
Exactly.
It's nuts. So we're going to give it a try, and just see how it is. So, that's something that I think we might actually bring to GutterCon too. Just some little things like that, just.
And that's a great example of waking up every day thinking that I could pick up something new.
Yeah.
You bump into Donovan, Christmas lights weren't even on your radar before then. You're like, this is a great idea all of a sudden.
Yeah. So
his booth was just past yours around the right, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. It had a little tree all lit up in his booth. So
yeah, he's a good guy. I think that's good to run down that path. And it probably doesn't hurt you to give it a shot for the first year. I think you'll like the money.
There's no one really doing it in our area, so that's why we thought we'd give it a shot this year. I mean, we're not going to go crazy. We're, like I said, 5 to 10. We'll get our feet wet, see if we like it, and we'll go from there. So listen, we're coming up on about 50 minutes here. So tell us a little bit about what you've done with the company since you took over. I got to ask you, the company was around for about 40 years, and you decided to do a name change. What was the reason behind that?
That was a lawyer thing. There
Just to keep
wasn't
it
any
separate.
liability hanging, but the lawyer insisted. He said, if you stay with the name and you take over the entire name, if a gutter that was installed 30 years ago by this guy
Yeah.
falls and clunks somebody in the head, it could potentially transfer to you because you're the new Southern owner.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, fine. Plus, I swear everything around here is Southern something. Southern bricklayers, Southern concrete guys, Southern this, Southern that. I mean, just to me, I've spent the last 2 years very much, marketing excites me. I'm learning a lot about SEO, marketing, websites. You know Frank Hennigan, I'm pretty sure, right?
Oh, I wanted to we have to talk a little bit about like I got to give a little plug, but I want to know a little.
Yeah. No, so I mean, Frank, I consider to be a great mentor of mine. I love what he's doing.
Did you just meet him at GutterCon, or did you know him before?
No, I knew him previous to the con. He might be the guy who told me to go to the con. I can't remember, but he might be responsible for that. But he's a good guy. He does the same as me. He's looking to uplift the industry. He's really sharp. I've spent 2 years just learning a lot about marketing. I'm all about the marketing, the gutters and the gutter cleaning and all the other things that we're putting together. It is very much where you can put it on a recurring schedule. And
Set it and forget it.
Megan likes, you know her as well. I really like her and Jeff's idea where they have everything on recurring. She taught me that one. I learned that from them. That really sparked me. We need the calendar full. If I can fill the calendar this year with all new customers that I've turned to recurring, next year I can buy 2 trucks and I can fill them with recurring. And next year I can buy 2 more trucks. 23 by the end of 2024, I expect to be $5 million a year. That's
nice.
That's the plan.
Good for you.
And by surrounding yourself with people who have great ideas and bounce things around like we do at these conventions.
Yeah.
And not just at the conventions, we can talk anytime, you know. I mean, there's a lot of data, there's a lot of ideas being thrown around. There's, I mean, just things you weren't even on your radar in the slightest bit. And I've got too many things bouncing around in here.
Oh, I know, I do too. I wish it was 20 again. My son, who you probably met at Gutter, he was down at the huge convention with me, Kobe. He's turning 21 next week, by the way, so no more issues with fake IDs.
Very good.
Anyway, sorry, Kobe. But he's going to university, he's taking business, and you know, I would say for the last couple of years, he's worked for me in the summer, and he's works through the year with me doing estimates, and he's really he's good at installs, he's good at dealing with people. And I think, oh geez, he'd be so good taking this over, but I don't know if I want him doing the gutter business. And you know, I've been taking him to a couple of these conferences. And
I expect you tell him that I expect him to be in Orlando. And we're going to talk. He's going to be the gutter king. He's going to continue your reign.
Well, I'll tell you.
He's got a lot of energy and a lot of excitement. And I see him taking the tidbits that you pass and turning that into something totally beyond what I think you could even think of. He's got a ton of energy.
I hope he takes
like
the good tidbits. Not the
good tidbits, yes.
But I guess my point is that, you know, over the last couple of weeks, we've kind of been chatting about, you know, what he's going to do next year, because this is his final year. And, you know, he's really, because he's spent time with me and people like you and, you know, at these conferences the last year or so, his focus is on entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And I think that, you know, is so important for him. You know, not everyone can do it. Some people just need to go to work every day and get their paycheck. But if you have the mindset, and I would say to any young person out there that's, possibly listening, even if you're, working for a gutter guy, entrepreneurship, it can just bring you to such
Yes.
a higher level
And that's
in
what
your life.
you said, I'd love to be 20 again. And I wish I was. I wish I had the group of people that we have, Brent, the
Yeah.
people that we encircle ourselves with currently. And if I had those people when I was 20, now I had some really great people that taught me the skills, the trades. I learned a little bit about management in corporation wise and things like that. But the entrepreneurial spirit, and I'm glad that he's going to school for business. We have a lot of people in this industry that install gutters. That's fantastic, and I love them. That's great. The more you learn about business and sales, all of a sudden you start realizing that you should not be that $4 a foot guy. That number one, you deserve more than $4 a foot. And number two, what you offer is worth a lot, and people want that. I have this thing I talk about all the time, and I know we're running a little late. And it's not invented by me. Might have heard it somewhere, but people buy Ferraris, people buy Mustangs, and people used to buy Pintos.
Yeah.
Those three vehicles all have horses on them. That's all they have in common. There are some people that will only buy Ferraris, some will only buy Mustangs, and the Pintos were so bad we had to wipe them off the face of the earth. I don't ever sell anything with a Pinto emblem on it. My stuff needs to be Ferrari level, and a lot of my customers are Ferrari level customers. I mean, they expect a lot, and they just attention to detail. Make
They
your
don't
stuff.
mind paying for it.
Exactly.
Sometimes if they know it's more, that's what they want.
Exactly. We did a $2.2 million house last year. The lady did not want $4 gutters. She wanted, I had to talk her out of some things. She wanted everything that was possibly available just because it was fancy. And I'm like, yes, but that will just be a mess. Let's come up with something that really fits in with your house, and let's just make this perfect. And we did all good, but she wanted, like huge collector boxes everywhere. And it's like, I mean, yeah, sure, I'd love to sell you those. The ticket will be very high, but that's not what we're going for here.
Well, listen, it's been great chatting with you today, Drew.
Yes.
I don't think I would have expected this back in April when I met you, that we would have been talking about all the stuff we were talking about, but it was cool to see you a couple weeks ago. And I don't know, is there anything coming up? I'm going to RoofCon. Am I going to? Yeah, I'm going to RoofCon in Orlando in November. I'm going to go down and meet with the hotel.
I might make it to that. Yes, I'm not signed up yet, but I might make it to that. I've got parking garage pressure washer training in Orlando in October. That's my next thing.
Okay.
Cool. Man, I'm all over the place. I got too much going on, Brent. Too much.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Somebody told me I need to slow down, and they're correct.
Yeah. Is it maybe wifey?
No, don't have one of those.
Oh no. Oh, well, you have no excuses. You can go full tilt.
I'm full tilted. I'm all the way running 100%. Gonna hire a couple more people by the end of the year here, and next year is gonna be just phenomenal.
Oh, super. Listen, I haven't done this before, but I'll do it today. If anyone wanted to reach out and say thanks, or had a question for you, how could people get a hold of you?
Website is superseamlessgutter.com. Reach out there. I would say anybody in the industry could call me anytime. I wouldn't mind having my phone number out there if anybody needs something.
Probably get it right on the website. 678.
What's that?
Yeah.
678 778 8306. I'm always open to talk and learn new things as we discussed. I mean, anybody that's got questions or just interest, I like to hear stories. I like where the GutterCon is going with the gutter own operators. Something I've always done since I was very young is I've had a subscription to Inc. magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Am I anywhere on the level of any of those companies in there? Not really. But the stories and the excitement of what these people scrounge from
How they
nothing
got
and
there.
build up excites
Yeah.
me and inspires me. And I'm a highly energetic guy. Were you there for Hamish at the keynote speaker at
Oh, the first one?
the New Zealand guy?
Yeah, yeah, I heard him. Yeah.
I don't have quite as much energy as him, but I'm pretty close. Mornings at Super Seamless Gutter Shop are a little bit exciting and a little bit frantic. Like boss man needs to calm down some days, but I mean, I'm full of energy and I just like people to push and have a good time every day. So
Awesome.
a lot of excitement over here.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad I got a chance to meet you, and I'm sure we're going to be chatting again. And thanks for doing
Absolutely.
this. Okay.
All right. You give me a call then, okay?
I will.
All right. Thanks, Brent.